Hey, horror fans, once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Monty G. Continue on with the 31 Days of Horror. It's time to review the latest black comedy horror film. Yes, it's Back to the Future meets Scream with Totally Killer.
Don't fuck with them hoes.
Now, Totally Killer is a 2023 American black comedy slasher film. It was directed by Nakachka Khan. It was written by David Malanton, Sasha Pearl and Gene D'Angelo. Now, the film stars Karina Shipka, Olivia Holt, Julie Bowman, Charlie Gillespie, and Lynchneer Monroe. I knew I screwed that guy's name up. Now, in this film, when the infamous Sweet 16 killer returns 35 years after his first murder spree to claim another victim, 17-year-old Jamie accidentally travels back to 1987, determined to stop the killer before he can start. Yes, we're going back to the past. Now, horror fans, one of the more interesting concepts that filmmakers try to do with horror films is combining certain genres of films together. They'll combine elements of one film along with another and use that as a premise of the movie. One such horror film was the 2017 slasher film Happy Death Day, which used elements of Groundhog Day and slasher films, where the victim, Tree, would relive the entire day every time she would be killed by the slasher. Very effective film. Really enjoyed that film. So, American writer producer Nakashka Khan brings us her entry where Back to the Future meets Scream with Totally Killer. Now, we're introduced to teenager Jamie Hughes, who is off to celebrate Halloween with her best friend Amelia despite the protests of her mother Pam. You can see they have the typical teenage daughter mother relationship. Now, we find out that back in 1987, three of Pan's friends, Tiffany, Marissa, and Heather, were killed by the Sweet 16 killer on the nights of their birthdays. We find out that on each night, he stabbed them 16 times on the nights of their birthdays. Now, when the killer returns and kills Pam's and then tries to kill Jamie, she is accidentally sent back to 1987. Wow. So Jamie decides that the only way to save her mother back in the future is to find out who the killer is and prevent the deaths of Pan's friends. Kind of an interesting plot right there. Now, Nachka Khan, who created the comedy TV shows Don't Trust the Bee and Apartment 23 and Fresh Off the Boat, tries to blend two popular movie genres together. You take the premise of Back to the Future along with Scream is a nice idea for a slasher film. I kind of like the idea, she goes back into the future. She's in the 80s, so we get a lot of 80 references with the clothes and the style and the music. So I actually thought they did a good job in making Jamie appear that she's actually in the 80s. I thought they did a very good job in that aspect of the film. And then you add the teenager meets their parents when they are their age, cliche. It should add some niceties and comedic results in the film. Not only do you have the different type of language and slang that was used during the late 80s, you also see the teenage version of your parents when you meet them, when you see them, and you see how they acted when they were your age. It'll be interesting. Like I can imagine seeing my mother as a teenager, at the time when she was going to high school. That would be a little weird for me to see what my mother was doing at that time. Now, you would think that when Jamie encounters her mother and finds out what Pam was really like back in that time period, it would lead to some comedic and funny results. Like the ones that Marty McFly had when he encountered his parents in the past in Back to the Future. We had some very comedic moments when Marty McFly meets his parents and he just couldn't believe what was going on. How his father was and how loose his mother was and compared to what they are now. So you thought you had some nice comedic moments in this film. Now, while we do have some funny moments, the encounter that Jamie has with Pam and her friends are often flat, and the jokes they tell are not funny. It's some very rough things going on here. I won't reveal what they are, but if you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I'm waiting for something funny to happen, and I'm not laughing. Now, it could be that I really didn't care for much about any of the characters outside of Jamie, as most of them were quite annoying. They really didn't do anything other than speak the typical talk that they talk during that time period. But I didn't really have any interest in any of the characters other than Jamie. Now, at least Karina Sipka, obviously from the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina fame, she's fine as Jamie, and she carries the film basically with her determination to find out who the killer is, and also seeing that she really finds out that she really loves her mother. There are some nice tender moments in the film where we see Jamie really caring about her mother, finding out the reason why she does the thing she does. It's the typical stuff that we've seen before in other movies, not just this style, but when you actually see this process, you see, you know what, my mother really does love me. That's the reason why she does the thing that she does. And we see that here between, at least between Jamie and Pam. Now, while I like the idea of the killer and the mask, the motivation for the killing was kind of weak, and I really wasn't surprised regarding who the so-called twist that was revealed in the third act. It's right out of a certain slasher film, so it didn't surprise me when that happened. So whatever motivate, whatever idea that Khan and and the rest of the filmmakers thought they were going to do during the third act of the film, wasn't surprised at all. No, I kind of like the idea with time travel that they use in this particular film. I like the devices that they use in this film. It's kind of reminded me of Doctor Who and the TARDIS, so it definitely got some Doctor Who references there. As far as how does Jamie get to the future, and then how Jamie gets back to the past, and how she gets back to the future. I actually like that aspect of the film, but when it comes to time travel, you have your own pseudoscience of how time travel works. I mean, unfortunately, the killing doesn't add anything, as they're kind of superficial. I don't know if they were trying to use practical effects or CGI. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stabbing in here, but it doesn't have the same type of effect that you would think that I think they were trying to go for. Especially even a black comedy film, you still want to make sure that what's happening is brutal, and not saying that it isn't. It just didn't have the type of that I was looking for. And like I said, it doesn't provide the shock value I believe the film makers were going for it too. It's just like stab, stab. Okay, well, where's the gore? There's blood, but there's no gore. As with many time traveling movies and such as like Back to the Future, we get the usual changes that take place, which really surprise anyone. Just like in Back to the Future, when Marty actually returns to the present, there are certain changes that have taken effect because of what happened in the past. And the same thing happens here. Yeah, it's kind of sweet. And I'm pretty sure some people are like, wow, that's so nice. But to me, it's like, I've seen this before. Can you guys try anything new? So, well, not the best horror comedy, as this film has too much common with Back to the Future. Most of the jokes are not funny. Almost all the characters are annoying, but at least Sipka is fine. And the movie is made very well, very nice production wise. I have to give Khan credit for how the film is made and how it's very paced. But it just wasn't funny to me. I found nothing really funny. Maybe because I have a different sense of humor, but I didn't get any of the jokes. The jokes just went whip. I said, okay, I knew they're supposed to be funny, but I didn't find it funny. I didn't laugh once. So I can only give Totally Killer only 2 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. It's a okay movie. I had some moments where I did enjoy it, but like I said before, the character is very annoying. Only Sipka is very good. The writing is okay. Some of the jokes fell flat. I didn't find really anything funny. I felt the killer had a very weak motivation, especially when there's a twist that gets revealed in the third act. I felt his motivation, that particular person's motivation, was weak. So it's like, okay, all right, you did a good job. I'm pretty sure some people will probably enjoy it more than I did, but what are you going to say? So there you have it, horror fans. That is my review and video of Totally Killer. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and share because it does help out with that YouTube algorithm. Also, if you have seen Totally Killer, what you thought about it? Did you like the film? Leave your comments in the comment section below and tell me what you thought about the film. And if you're new here, please hit that subscriber button, ring that notification bell. That way, we notify anytime when I put a new video such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as a Horror Miser Money G. And always remember that horror rules. I see you in my next video. That guy stay safe out there.